Today's meditation comes from John chapter 11. For today's my talk, I would like to give title, The Sickness is not unto the death, but for the glory of God. When the Lazarus was sick, and Jesus Christ just 3 kilometers away from Lazarus. And Mary and Martha sent a message to the Jesus Christ. Your dearest friend, the Lazarus, is sick. Please come and visit him. But after he got the message also, Jesus Christ, he did not respond it. The disciples were along with him. But the disciples are along with him. And he told, we'll go to other place for ministry. The disciples did not understand what is the reason Jesus Christ said. Then again, after 2 days, he got the message from Mary and Martha. Your dearest friend is no more. When he heard this message, he told to the disciples, our Lazarus is sleeping in the Lord. Then the disciples said, if he is sleeping, he will get up. But plainly Jesus said, he is no more. He is no more. Now can you imagine, my dear believers, whenever Jesus Christ comes to the Bethany, most of the time, Jesus is to take the rest in Lazarus' home. He is very close friend of Jesus. Jesus Christ is very close friend of Lazarus and Mary and Martha. And many times, he visited, he spent the quality of time with them. But the Lazarus is sick, he did not turn. When the Lazarus is died, he did not come back. What would even Mary and Martha might be thinking it? By the time Jesus Christ had done the wonderful miracles, we can notice in the chapter 10. He gave the blind man for the eyes, and one who is suffering with the various sickness, he was doing as various miracles. Now, whatever the miracles he had done earlier, these are the strange people. But Lazarus is very close to the Jesus Christ. But when he was sick also, he did not turn back. When he died also, Jesus Christ did not come back. What would be the Mary and Martha might be thinking? If I would have been in the place of Mary and Martha, then I would have caused Jesus Christ. Why Jesus Christ would not come? I would have thought in my life. Now if you notice the verse 2, Mary anointed Jesus Christ with the precious oil, and she wiped his feet with her hair. And after 4 days, when Jesus Christ said to his disciples, now we'll go and see the Lazarus. When the Martha heard Jesus Christ is coming, she ran to receive him. But she did not think in her heart, when my brother is sick, he did not turn. When my brother is died, he did not come. She did not think like that. She visited and welcomed him, and she hugged him and cried, Master, if you would have been here, my brother would have not died. Then Mary was there at home. The Martha went and told Jesus Christ came. The Martha also, Mary and Martha, and they both said, Master, if you would have been here, my brother would have not died. Then Jesus said, your brother will be resurrected. Martha said, I know. When he comes second coming time, my brother will be resurrected. But Jesus was talking about the present situation. Jesus Christ did not say about what is going to happen in the future. He told about the present situation. But if you notice, in the entire Bible, as far as my knowledge, Jesus Christ wept only twice. Now if you look at verse 35, Jesus wept. While looking at the Mary and Martha, he cried. So all the people, those who gathered there, they also said, if you would have been here, our brother would have not died. Then Jesus said, when you go to the tomb, your brother will be resurrected. Then Martha said, 4 days back, the body might be stinking. Don't open it. Then Jesus said, turn the stone other side. He cried to the heaven, Lazarus, come forth. He prayed and cried to the God. The Lazarus came out. When the Lazarus came out, many people are witnessed. Many people have seen what the great miracle had done. If Jesus Christ would have come when the Lazarus was sick, that would be like one of the miracles what he had done in the earlier. But God, Jesus Christ wanted to give the highest priority to the Lazarus and their family. After 4 days he came. What is the reason after 4 days he has to come? Sometimes people think as if those who went into the coma, maybe 3 days they will be there. Jesus Christ, the body was stinking, people were experiencing, and Lazarus was resurrected. While looking at this, the many people come to see the Lazarus. Many people came to see Jesus Christ. Many people come to know about the living God. Many people come close to the God. Many people, they follow the living God. Sometimes, for somebody's sickness, for somebody's problems, God will bring the glory. So the Bible also clearly promised. Lazarus had privilege of eating the supper with Jesus Christ. That is, we can see chapter 12 and 2. Martha served for the Lazarus and Jesus Christ. Because of the Lazarus sickness, God is not only extended the life of the Lazarus. After a few years, Lazarus might be died. But the many people come to know about the living God, many people came into the truth. When King Hezekiah was sick, he was lying on the sick bed. The prophet Isaiah came and told, you are going to die. And make your household properly. Then the King Hezekiah turned towards the wall. He was praying and is sharing his experience with the God. Lord, as I became the king, I was doing great things to glorify your name. I walked according to your will. He was crying and pleading it. The prophet Isaiah did not go out of the middle of the palace. Again, word of the Lord came and go and tell Hezekiah, I am extending his life for another 15 long years. And prophet Isaiah came and told to King Hezekiah, the God is extended your life for another 15 long years. Then King Hezekiah asked him, what is the sign? The shadow will go 10 degrees backward or forward. Now this news comes to know about the Babylonians, what our living God has done. Because of the King Hezekiah's sickness, the Babylonians come to know about our living God. So they came all the way from Babylon to the Jerusalem to find out what happened it. Now that means here we need to understand the Babylonians also, they come to know about a living God. And they come to know King Hezekiah's God did something great things in his life. They came all the way to see and know personally his experience. But King Hezekiah, instead of sharing what God has done, he was showing all the treasures and everything. Prophet Isaiah said, whatever he has shown, everything will be carried to the Babylon. When the Naaman was sick, his servant said, you go to the Israel, there is a prophet, he is going to heal you. So all the way, Naaman came to Jerusalem and he recovered from his sickness. When he recovered from his sickness, he carried the message to the Syria. His army was experiencing what our living God done. The Naaman and his family come to know about the living God. The Naaman got the salvation. Now, my dear believers, sometimes the sickness or problems will come to in our life. And it will bring us close to the God. It will bring us close to the God. Because when Lazarus was sick, many people they came to the truth. When King Hezekiah was sick, Babylonians come to know about the living God. Now when the Naaman carried the message to the Syria, many Syrians come to know about the living God. Now my dear believers, sometimes the sickness comes to our life, the problems comes to our life to bring us close to the God. I would like to share my family personal testimony, which happened in 2015. 2015, my brother's son was very sick. They went to various doctors, almost 2-3 months. They went to here and there for finding the places. As the days goes, he is becoming weak and weak. Whenever he is passing the urine, the blood was coming out. They could not identify what is his sickness. Then finally they reached to the Vijayawada, one of the hospital. The doctors, after doing as a various test, he said, I'm thinking he might be suffering with the cancer. Anyway, let me check. He gave the 1 week medicine. So while he was taking the medicine, and he was got chicken pox. That when the reports came from Hyderabad, and they confirmed he's suffering with the leukemia, cancer. The doctor said immediately go to the so-and-so hospital in Hyderabad. The family members were worrying so much. My brother said, this is what happening. I told my brother, don't worry, we'll pray to the God. Because my brother, all my relatives are Hindus. When he was in the ambulance, he told me around 11:30 in the night, we are reaching to the Hyderabad. And I just sent one message to one of my friend who lives in Hyderabad. He called me back and he said, don't worry, tomorrow I'll take care of him. I will do whatever the necessary in hospital. So he went and took care of him, he guided. Now my dear believers, what I wanted to say, when he got sickness, along with the chicken pox, when he is admitted in the hospital, he was there in the ICU. I went to see him, he cried. The family members are worrying so much, he was crying. He was just 11 years. He was studying 6th standard. I told my sister-in-law, don't worry, we'll pray to the God. God will find the ultimate solution. All the family members were very great sorrow. I just did. Whomever I know, I just send the message for them. Pray for my brother's son is suffering with the cancer. I just sent the message. In that night, one of my friends said, now this is not the right place, we'll go to the CMC Beldur. The doctor said, he is very critical. I cannot discharge him from the hospital. If anything goes, I am not responsible. Even we told, no problem, we'll take it. But he was not refused to give us even the certifying letter also. We decided, whatever the situation, we want to go to the CMC that night. I was just carried, my brother, we carried him. And when we went to the airport in Hyderabad, then the airport department checking people, they stopped. Since he had the chicken pox, again they tested. I was just standing next to him and I was praying to him, praying to the God. But finally, after 1 hour, they said, almost his chicken pox was recovered. It was all right. He can travel it. Then finally we reached to the CMC. It took almost 3.5 years. Right now also is taking treatment. Now what I want to say, because of his sickness, because of my brother's son's sickness, the mother and this boy, one who is suffering to the cancer, they stopped doing idol worship. And they are praying to the God till today. But I believe almost he went to the death stage, but he recovered it. But I believe God extended his life. It is not only the God extended his life, but they come to know about the living God. They come to know about the truth. Maybe God, I don't know, I'm not sure how long God is going to extend it. But whatever the way God extended, his life is going to be glorified. Now, my dear believers, what I wanted to say is, sometimes these problems and difficulties comes should not disappoint it. We should not be discouraged. Maybe God has a better plan. God is expecting us to come close to Him. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10 says, God, do not fear, I am with you. In the problems and the difficulties, God is going to be with us. When God is with us, why do we need to fear? Why do we need to worry about that? Whatever the God's will is, it is going to happen. May God bless